Today we're going to work on finishing up our intake and our exhaust. There's some work that needs to be done. We need to add an air temperature sensor and an O2 bung, and of course there's a little problem with our turbo downpipe. So let's jump right in. So we're going to try to zip this bung off of this pipe here.
Say what now?
And you can see it's not held down very well. I didn't bolt it down yet.
Safety third.
Either way, we're going to try to zip this off of here. We have to put it on another pipe. It's a little less diameter than this one. This is for our air temperature sensor. So I'd like to zip it off of here and weld it onto another pipe. We'll see if we can figure out how to do that. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. We'll see. I have to plug it in first.
What a goof! What's with you, man? Come on!
Looks like we might be able to actually pull this off.
That's what she said.
Maybe the nastiest fat weld you've ever seen, but we're gonna grind it down and see what it looks like.
Holy Jesus! What is that? What the f is that?
We thought we were ready for this, but clearly we aren't. That's still going on?
It looks horrible. Looks absolutely horrible.
Oh, okay, I'm so glad you said that.
But again, I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm basically just trying to stick it on there.
Just stick it on.
What I'm gonna do is put the glove on this end, put water in this end, and we're gonna see if we get any leaks.
Oh, come on!
Because we probably should, but we're gonna find out.
Whoa, still going.
All right, so here's what we've got so far.
Damn!
And it looks horrible. The reason why I'm not showing too much of this is because I'm a really bad welder.
We know!
There's no point in me showing you how to do it wrong. So far right now at the moment, we've got the sides pretty sealed up.
You sure about that?
But we're getting leaks out of the top and bottom. This entire process is basically, I tacked it on there, welded around it.
I got really high and tripped on my bong.
And then grinded it up, make it look okay. Then I test it to see if it's leaking. And then when it is, I grind it up some more, weld it again, test it, and so on and so forth. And because I'm a poor welder, you know, I'm just gonna keep doing that until it's sealed.
Sure, Jan.
So it could take me 20 or 30 times welding and testing before we get it right. However, this is how you learn, and I'm gonna keep doing it until it either doesn't leak or we ruin this pipe and we gotta start over. So there you go. That's where we're at.
Many unbearable hours later.
All right, so what we have here is an actual spool welding gun. So it allows you to separate your aluminum and push it through a much smaller tube, since this is very soft and doesn't like to get pushed through the whole tube. So this should allow us to use aluminum welding rod, because apparently aluminum doesn't like to get mixed with other metals. It just doesn't stick.
Yes, science!
So I'm hoping this solves our problem and our bung will stick. And we just had to get another gun. Now, I have no freaking idea how to hook this up, so we're just gonna figure it out. Look at that. There we go. No, actually, it turns out that steel doesn't want to stick to aluminum. So no matter what I did here, this would never seal. However, when you get aluminum,
impressive,
and you do it right, well, you can get something that turns out okay. So we finally did some aluminum welding. Is it perfect? No, probably still has a little seep to it. But it'll be enough to get us on the road. We could take it to a real welder who can seal it up.
Maybe we should start with that.
And that's the plan. So there we go. Looks pretty good. Now the kit came with a ready-to-go downpipe, which isn't really ready to go.
I guess not.
It actually hits the steering connections and all the stuff.
Well, I guess not too.
So it needs to be extended about 5 inches.
That's huge.
And, well, I'm gonna have to do it. So, let's see how this goes. We got our pipe on, welded and sealed. No pinholes, no lights coming through. No, it looks fine. It is what it is. I'm not a professional welder. Now we just have to put the flange on at the top. And it fits on there pretty tight already. So it's just a matter of welding it up. Alright, so we have our 5 inches extension and we have our flange for a turbo mounted on here. Do these welds look perfect? Not by a long shot. In fact, the first time I went to weld this top flange, for whatever reason my gas wasn't actually working, so it got more boogery than usual.
Oh, would you look at this?
It will hold, this will hold, and the whole point of this is to be functional. Would I be happy if my welds look like this? Absolutely. Absolutely, that would be awesome. But I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. And if I do anything here, it's at least to show you that you could figure this out yourself.
Oh, it's super easy.
And when I've been welding for a year or two, these will probably look a lot better. But this is welding for my 3rd time. So it is what it is. I'll take it. We've got our pipe extended. Let's see how it fits in the car.
Any day now.
Any day now.
Sigh.
You blew it, boy! You really blew it!
All right, it seems like we've got room for our downpipe now. There we go. It's still pretty close to the steering arm, but I think we're okay. So let's clamp this up. Well, it's tight enough to see what we got going on down there. So we're pretty close. Simple coupler, ought to get the job done. I got just the thing. Let's see.
6 hours later.
Just forget it.
Well, it looks like I'm gonna need some kind of flex pipe here.
You sure?
I was kind of hoping that this little coupler could work, but it doesn't look like it's gonna. We're gonna need some kind of flex pipe. Well, we're sort of connected.
Right, that'll work.
We got to get a flex pipe in here.
No kidding.
But we do have plenty of room to put a O2 sensor in here, which is good. Looks good. Alright, that's the final O2 sensor bung. Welded in and pressure tested. Doesn't appear to be leaking. Hard to say for sure, but I'm sure we'll figure out more once we get the car started. But our downpipe is finished. Alright, so this is how this is going to work. We need something flexible for the two pipes to match up on the bottom. So we got this flex pipe. This is going to slide on top of here. As you can see, it doesn't want to. So we're going to split it a little bit, get it up over top, bang it on there. And then we're going to use a clamp, or an exhaust clamp, to get this on. Then, this is the size of the regular exhaust. As you can see, that doesn't work very well.
It's a little short.
So what we're going to do is we've got this, which is the same size as this, and also the same size as this. So what we're going to do is we're going to split this a little bit, and then we're going to expand it out so it'll slide over top of this and this, and then we're going to weld up the center, and then we're going to clamp it on either end to tighten it on to this and this.
Did not learn anything.
And that way we can get it running, make sure it doesn't leak, and we can take it to an exhaust shop who can professionally do this at some point. But we want to get it up and running and ready to go. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to split this a little bit so it'll slide over here. We can clamp it on. And then we're going to split this down the middle, slide it over top of this, and over top of this. And then we're going to weld it up in the center with the gap, leaving a little bit on each top edge so we can clamp it on to here and here. This being the actual exhaust in the car physically. So that's the plan. Let's see how it works out.
What's the worst that could happen? Right, that'll work.
I know what you're trying to do.
Take the round peg, put into the square hole.
Well, it's about damn time.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
75 years later.
Alright, so basically, we're not just going to be able to weld this, we'll have to fill the gap.
See, Meg? That's a thigh gap.
But I do have a strategy for that as well. So we'll get to that. Alright, so we've got this piece spread out and then cut. And I welded a piece in here from another.
We have clearance, Clarence.
It should be in pretty good shape. I don't know. Let's see.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Gonna have to do some grinding.
These nuts.
I think we'll be okay to put our exhaust together. Alright, so we've got everything on the exhaust all buttoned up. We've got our exhaust piece that we welded together here, connected to our flex pipe, connected to our downpipe right there. And then up here on the top side, we have our downpipe connected to our turbo. All of our lines are mocked up. Everything is fitted properly and where it's supposed to go. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna take the turbo off, gonna take all the lines off, and we're gonna make sure that everything on the turbo, because I had to clock it multiple times, is torqued down properly. We're gonna make sure all these lines get fitted, torqued down, and everything properly so nothing leaks. Then we're gonna go ahead and start the reinstall. We're gonna put the plugs on, we're gonna put everything back together, make sure it's torqued. We're gonna do things like make sure that we add these clamps so that everything is properly clamped and it can't come loose.
Nice.
So this is the final thrash to make sure nothing rubs, everything is torqued, and everything is fitted up properly. Then of course we have to fully drain the oil and refill it, make sure everything is good to go. And I think we're ready just about to start this thing. But first, let's tear it down and torque it. But all of that is gonna be for another video because, well, these can only be so long. And you might be asking yourself, Mike, why are you spending all this time, energy, and money on an old beat up 733 that isn't worth anything?
Why?
Well, you know that can only be for the love of cars, and hopefully me being able to do this sort of stuff in videos like this will encourage you to go out there and find that beater that you've been looking at, that you always wanted, pick it up, take it home, and figure it out. Put it back on the road and have some fun. That's what the channel's all about, and that's why we love cars. We're gonna hopefully get this thing back on the road in the next video. I can't wait, so make sure you check it out. Go ahead and subscribe down below and do all the things that YouTubers tell you to do. I'm Michael Fire Jr., and this is For the Love of Cars. I will see you guys in the next video.